Welcome to Fantasy Sports Live. I am Crazy Gaby, and do you hear that? Do you hear that? Listen. That's right. You don't hear anything because it's the calm before the storm with the NBA's last regular season day quickly approaching. Tomorrow's going to be really emotional. I'm just going to be filled with tears. I don't know if I can handle this. I guess I'm going to have to be strong. You're going to have to be strong too. We'll figure out how to get through it together. You and I, we can do this. But as for now, we've got some great Major League Baseball action going on today, so at least we can sink our teeth into that. Yesterday was a busy day in the association, and unfortunately, one of my pet teams, the Phoenix Suns, were eliminated from playoff contention. They lost to the Memphis Grizzlies in a very tight game, and that was actually the team they were battling for the 8th seed in the Western Conference with, so it looks like they will finish 9th, but still, hell of a coaching job by Jeff Hornacek. They're one of the more fantasy-friendly teams to play against or play players from, and next season you can definitely look for them, target them in games to start the NBA season. Despite their best efforts to remain futile, the Pacers clinched the number 1 seed in the East. Miami got blown out with no LeBron James, so it looks like maybe all that hard work they've been doing has paid off. I don't know. They said they wanted the number 1 seed. I'm not even sure it matters at this point the way they're playing, but only time will tell. I'm not touching a single Pacers option, though, to be honest with you. I won't play any of them. The Golden State Warriors clinched the 6th seed with another huge night from Stephen Curry, and that means they're heading for a first-round matchup with the Houston Rockets or the Los Angeles Clippers. I believe that might still be left to be decided. I'm not so sure, but I think right now they would play the Los Angeles Clippers. That should be a very fun playoff series, and if you're playing playoff DFS basketball, that might be the kind of game you want to load up on players from. Andrew Bogut has a broken rib, and there is no timetable for his return. In fact, it's been said that if he were to play right now, he is at risk of puncturing a lung. Ugh, that just sounds disgusting. This is terrible for the Warriors' defense as they rely on the guards funneling their assignments into the paint where Bogut can then turn them away. With no elite rim defender, they could be in a world of trouble against a team like the Los Angeles Clippers. The Raptors snagged a franchise record 48th win, and they've just been one of the better stories in the NBA. Since the Rudy Gay trade, they've actually had a very elite record. Going to be really fun to watch this team in the playoffs. I'm expecting big things from them. The Pelicans had nothing to play for, but no problem. We'll just come out here and, Tyreek Evans will just drop, a near triple-double with 41 real-life points. Absolutely bonkers. Tyreek Evans has proven this year he belongs in the NBA with a decent contract as a starter. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him next season. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention my boy Swaggy P. He had 41 points in a meaningless game, and this pretty much summed up the entire Lakers season. Anything good that happened doesn't really matter. This team is a train wreck. Over in Major League Baseball, the Pirates and the Reds combined for 10 home runs in 6 innings. 6! Are you kidding me? The game was then called due to weather, but they're actually going to finish it out today at 5:30. Now, it's kind of bittersweet because you're not going to get the fantasy points from it. But you know what? If you already got your fantasy points from the game, you're pretty happy with that at this point, right? Like 10 home runs, you probably had a piece of the action. And you get to kick back and watch this game. Maybe there's a couple more dingers and it goes down in the record books. I don't know. Going to be really fun to watch this one today. I recommend you check it out. Now, A.J. Burnett has a hernia but has said he will attempt to pitch through the pain. It might be worth it to pick on him in the next matchup. Look, a guy's injured. We hate that. I don't wish it upon anybody, but at the same time, you got to make the smart DFS play, and if this guy could break down easily and they could go to the bullpen at an early inning, it could be worth it to stack up bats against him in a game. A little bit of news trickled out of the NFL yesterday as well. Chris Johnson is likely to sign with the New York Jets today. This will suit his style of play a little better than the Tennessee Titans, in my opinion, as the Jets, I believe they're just a little better equipped to be a ground and pound team. Maybe feature Chris Johnson in a half and half role with another running back. Going to be interesting as far as fantasy purposes are concerned because he's sort of a player that's off of everyone's radar. One of the least liked running backs in the NFL. And he could be a cheap source of fantasy points early on in the NFL season. Just go ahead and store that one away in your brain noggin. Like I said earlier, some great Major League Baseball action today, and Steven Strasburg stands head and shoulders above the rest of the players. At $17,150, he is definitely worth the top-tier investment. He is going to make the Marlins wish they didn't have a game this afternoon, or evening. Yeah, it's evening. Masahiro Tanaka against the Cubs is not a bad play either for 13,550. The Cubs definitely have some lefty mashing bats that can take the right-handers deep, but if he can avoid those, get through those tough at-bats, there's a great chance he has a strong outing this evening. Garrett Richards has looked extremely strong through 2 starts, and he still prices in at just $10,400. I can count his price on 2 hands. So he is an excellent value play today. I'm not sure how long he can keep this up for, but by all accounts, he looked great in the preseason. He looked great at the end of last season. This could be a guy who maybe turns into the real deal. I think at $10,400, it's definitely worth it for you to find out. As far as bats are concerned, I'll be taking the Red Sox bats against Eric Johnson. Mike Napoli with his reverse splits against right-handers makes a great choice. And David Ortiz, some of the other left-handed bats, should be a great value source today. I'm also kind of a fan of some Royals bats against Lucas Harrell. Harrell's just a bad pitcher. And if the Royals can get it going, they can certainly take advantage of it. Not the most prolific offense in Major League Baseball, but a team that can kind of, snowball some momentum into a big inning or two. Question of the day time, just for you. Will there be any first-round surprises in the NBA playoffs? I'm going to go ahead and give you mine. I think the Indiana Pacers are going to lose in the first round, regardless of who they play against. That's right. You heard it here. Indiana Pacers out in the first round, regardless of who they play. I just don't see them being able to take down a 7-game series at this point in time. I think there will likely be another implosion or two that will set everything down into a bad path. I want to hear what you think about that, so leave your comments below on whatever platform you happen to be watching this video. Thanks for watching Fantasy Sports Live. I'm Crazy Gaby reminding you to be a man, grow a beard.